बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम. Siddharam devotees, this evening here we are here once more as we are going to join in glorifying the divine name of Bhagwan through the holy verses of Sri Hanuman Chalisa, as well as the verses that we are going through right now is tied into the Sri Ramcharitamanas. So basically, as you all would understand, is that we are going through verses of the Sri Ramcharitamanas to help us to understand the glory of Bhagwan, to help us to understand a little bit more about Hanumanji, his advents and all of these different things. At this point in time, we join as we glorify that name of Bhagwan. Gauri Ganesh, Uma Mahesh, Parvati Nandan Siddhi Ganesh, Gauri Ganesh, Uma Gauri Ganesh, Uma Mahesh, Parvati Nandan Siddhi Ganesh. जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान, जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान, जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान, ओ जन पर कृपा करो राम के द्वारे तुम रखवारे महावीर बलवान, राम के द्वारे तुम रखवारे महावीर बलवान, संकट मोचन नाम तुम्हारो, दरद संत तेरो ध्यान, जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान, जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान, ओ जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान. सोना लाल गोटा मुक्ति नागर प्राण राम मुक्ति नागर प्राण आपने सोता बाबा गोटा मुक्ति नागर प्राण राम मुक्ति नागर प्राण लक्ष्मण मूर्छित परे धरी पर दियो संजीवन जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान ओ जन पर कृपा करो सता के शोक निवारो रघुबर सुर सब कामन राम रघुबर सुर सब कामन जनक सता के शोक निवारो रघुबर सुर सब कामन राम रघुबर सुर सब कामन कही पता नहीं रावण मारो देवी न दियो वरदान जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान ओ जन पर कृपा करो मकर ध्वज के राज तिलक दियो पुत्र अपनो जान राम पुत्र अपनो जान मकर ध्वज के राज तिलक दियो पुत्र अपनो जान राम पुत्र अपनो जान राम लखन के शोक निवारो जल में आए हनुमान जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान ओ जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान ओ जन पर कृपा करो हनुमान We join in Ramayana Sumira जो सुमिरत सिद्धि ओम गणनायक हरिवर वरना Last devotees, we were speaking of the verse that we have reached in Sri Hanuman Chalisa, that verse is Sukshma Rupa Dhari Siya Dikhawa Vikata Rupa Dhari Lanka Jarava Bhima Rupa Dhari Asura Samhare Ramachandra Ke Kaj Savare. So here, Sukshma Rupa Dhari Siya Dikhawa, Hanumanji took a small form, revealed himself to Sita Devi. Vikata Rupa Dhari Lanka Jarava, taking a huge form, he burnt Lanka. But just in those two lines alone, we're still there. Right? And Katha is not going to finish now for us to reach to the burden of Lanka. We still have a little way to go as yet, right? And I didn't want to skip the conversation that Hanumanji was having with Ravana, because that conversation, oh, kya baat hai, nice juicy conversation, you know, where Ravana tries to prove his prowess and his glory and his might, and you can see the true nature of that one that is very egotistic or egoistic, something of this sort, right? I think it's egotistic, right? This conversation, Ravana the ego is rising. So Ravana also has God in him, but he has forgotten the God part. You know, when he was doing tapasya for Lord Shiva, and he wanted the Vardhan, he wanted the boon and all these things. Oh, kya baat hai. He was a great bhakt, great devotee, you know. Ravan's grandfather was a great saint, Pulastya Muni. There are some kathas that says that, you know, he used to perform puja for Lord Shiva in his earthly form. I want you to think about it. Right? So, Ravana here now, so you can have a mixture of all different kinds of people in one family. That's what I'm trying to say. No family is perfect. And you wonder sometimes, you see people of different natures in the same family, right? The reason is that our karma or karmic influence brings us together, and sometimes we have to help each other out, and we have to help each other to grow. You can't have all of the same kind of people in one family. Look at Ravana and Vibhishan, cut from the same cloth. Not so? They're brothers, but they are poles apart. But Ravana wasn't a bad fellow. Ravana is just that the ego was rising and taking over the God self. Right? So when that ego rose there, what happened is that Ravana thinks that, oh, he's Bhagwan and he has the only power now and he's in charge of everything. Nobody else has any power. Right? So before we get into that conversation there, we join in beautiful Doha. ब्रह्मास्त्र तेहि सामदा कपि मन कीन्ह विचार ओ रामा कपि मन कीन्ह विचार जो न गम सर्वमानो महिमा मिटाए अपार ओ रामा महिमा मिटाए अपार सियावर रामचंद्र पर जय चरणम शंकर हरिओम जय जय सिया राम जय सिया राम बोलो जय सिया राम जय सिया राम बोलो जय सिया राम. This is where we stopped the last day, where Hanumanji and Meghnad, or Meghnad who is also known as Indrajit, the one who has conquered even Indradevta, the king of the heavenly region, they were having a battle. And Brahma Astra Tehi Samadha Kapi Mana Keenha Vichar. When Meghnad placed that, the Brahmastra, that weapon of Lord Brahma, that is made to, it binds the opponent, right? And the opponent cannot be freed from that. So, when Hanumanji sees that placed on the bow of Meghnad, Kapi Mana Keenha Vichar, he starts to think and he starts to dwell. So, if you notice something, I always talk about this, right? You'll always hear Vichar when it comes to Hanumanji. He's always thinking. Hanumanji doesn't just start acting automatically and outrageously and no. He's always thinking before he acts. In this world, most of the time, we perform actions but we don't think before we act. Right? Hence, when we perform these actions, it brings consequences that are not so pleasing to us. But if you think, devotees, you take your time and you think carefully before you act, I guarantee you that the consequences of your actions are going to be very different. Right? You see, we don't think to act, rather we react. We just react to a situation. So what react, if you want to use it in that context, react means to act again, if you want to call it that. So think about it. So someone comes to me, and they act in a certain manner towards me. I react. So if I react, what am I doing? I am responding to the action that that person is performing. If that action is bad, then I'm also reflecting that action. So don't react, don't reflect that. Rather reflect within your mind. Think within your mind, analyze that little churning process happening, interpret, and then you perform that action. So as he thinks here, Jauna Brahmasara Manau Mahima Mitai Apad, sorry. So here he says, if I don't bow down, if I don't yield or give in or surrender to the weapon of Brahmaji, then it will lose all its glory. Because that's a very, very powerful weapon, and you have to do a lot of great tapasya in order to acquire such a weapon. Very, very great weapon. So here he says, nobody will worship Brahmaji, nobody will want to attain Brahmastra and all of these different things anymore. Right? All glory will go in vain. So I must bow in reverence. I must surrender myself before this most powerful weapon. But also, he did not just make this decision rather, with the decision that, or the conclusion that, I'm just going to be bound by this Brahmastra and then they will do what they want to do. No. Hanumanji would have thought about many steps ahead of that. What may be the outcomes of this action that I'm performing? And this is where things get a little bit important now. Thinking about the present moment, that's fine, and thinking about what is happening right now. But are we people of vision? Do we see ahead? Do we plan ahead? Do we look into the future as well? When I say look into the future, you have to understand. I'm not talking about seeing your future, but I'm talking about visualizing your future. The way that you want it to play out, or the way that you want it to manifest. That is very, very important. Right? Do we have a vision? Do we have a plan? Do we have an aim? You think about Lakshmi Devi, Lakshana, Laksha. It means an aim, a goal, an objective. You know? Do we have an aim, a goal, an objective in life? Or are we moving aimlessly? Haywire. Right? You must have clear direction. Hanumanji, before he even entered into Lanka, he would have sat on a mountaintop, right, when he landed there on the seashore, and he would have had a view of the entire Lanka. He scoped out the entire Lanka before he made his entry. You see how proper and accurate this individual is? What do you think about that? Nobody is perfect again, but here, he executes with such intelligence. You know, that's why he's called Vidyavan. You know? Vidyavan. Right? Absolute knowledge. Because that is how Hanumanji thinks. So I want you to take this pattern, and this is very important. This is what we should try to aim to achieve, right? Apply into our life. This is very, very important. It's not just a story, if you notice, right? There's deep meaning within there. So he already thinks, and he says, well, if I'm bound, what may be the outcome, or what may be the consequences of that? Well, obviously they will take me to the court of exactly where I want to go, because I'm here for a reason. I'm looking for Sita Devi. I found Sita Devi. I already accomplished that now. So why not go and meet the fella who gave it trouble? Why not go and see this mighty Ravana? At this point in time, I want you to understand something. Hanumanji already saw Ravana. Ravana didn't see Hanuman. Let me explain how. When Hanumanji entered into Lanka, after meeting with Lankani at the gates of Lanka there, and he proceeded into Lanka itself, before meeting with Vibhishan, Hanumanji scoped out the entire Lanka. He went in actually, and he investigated. And he searched throughout Lanka, all over. He didn't find, he wasn't seeing Sita Devi, all where he was looking, right? In the places he searched. He even entered the palace of Ravana, it is said. Saw Ravana sleeping, looked at Ravana, everything, and he went about his his merry way. He went about it. Then he came out of that palace of Ravana, and that's where he saw Vibhishan. One day we'll take up that katha, right? It's a beautiful katha, that conversation of two devotees speaking with each other, right? Two great devotees of the Lord. So he would have seen Ravana already there, but he didn't actually have a conversation of Ravana. With Ravana, sorry, right? So why not go and meet Ravana? I'm just saying, right? I'm not saying that this is written here. But I'm saying, if you start thinking like Hanumanji, you know, we have to get into the mind of Hanumanji to try to understand why would he make a decision like that? Apart from bowing in reverence. Oh, I can bow in reverence to the Brahmastra, but then I can still destroy them after. Why not? You know? He could have simply said that. But why allow himself to be bound, captured, and then go to the court? Because he wants to see this Ravana. Who's this individual? Let him express himself, you know? Let him talk now. Let me hear him, as we just say in local dialect, let me hear him bump his gum a little bit now, you know? We have all these keyboard bajons in this day and age of Kali Yuga, right? Everybody, they're real bad over Facebook, you know? Bad to bad, you know? People take time to comment negatively. Oh, Jay Baba. They consume your content, first of all. They watch your video or your picture or whatever. And I'm sure many of you would have encountered this. And then they take the time to carefully type a message to say something negative, right? I learned one thing from one individual. He said, such people, you must feel empathy for them. Just like Hanumanji may be feeling empathy for Ravana. Poor thing, he don't know better. You see, you must feel empathy. You know why? Because they have nothing better to do than they have to take the time, devote the time to consume your content, right? And then take extra effort and place extra effort upon commenting negatively. You know how much energy that takes? Right? Similarly in life, somebody comes to you, they have the time to observe your life and see what's going on in your life. They ain't paying attention to their life at all. But they have time to observe your one and analyze it real good. Right? And after analyzing now, they have the time to come and tell you something negative. Instead of constructively critiquing if they are in that position to give you advice, no, they rather criticize. Well, you know, this ain't good and that ain't good and that shouldn't be so and that shouldn't be so and all of these things. Right? I believe in critiquing, not criticizing. It's different, right? So, with that being said, Hanumanji here, he wants to see who is this fella. Let me give him a chance to express himself and have a conversation and let's see what happens. So, here Tulsidas writes and he says, Brahma Ban Kapi Kahu Tehi Mara. So, this Kapi, now, Kapi means, if you literally translate it, it will mean monkey, right? But I would have mentioned earlier before, when we chanted the beginning of Sri Hanuman Chalisa, when we started there, we would have taken the word Kapi and understand that Kapi means one who drinks from the spiritual illumination or of that divine nectar of Bhagwan. It's a little bit deep, right? So when we use the word Kapi, let's not think monkey. Let's think about a great bhakta, a great devotee that is always sipping on the nectar of the divine Lord, right? So here, that one who is known as Hanumanji, he's shot with that Brahmastra, right? By Meghna. Paratihu bar katakau sanghara. Even when Hanumanji was falling after he was bound by this Brahmastra, it is said, look at the might and the power of Hanumanji. He overthrew a bunch of Rakshasas. Tehi dekha kapi murchita bhayu nagpas bandhesi lay gayu. And Meghna, when he saw that Hanumanji was swooning like that day, he decided that he had to tie him a little bit extra. So instead of just having the Brahmastra alone, you know, he tied a noose onto Hanumanji. So you have the balance of Hanumanji a little bit now. He tied a noose to Hanumanji and then he carried him off. Right? Jasu Nama Japi Sunahu Bhavani. So here now, Lord Shiva is narrating Katha at this point in time, and he's narrating this Katha here that I'm speaking to you. He's narrating it to Parvati, and he says, O Parvati, right? Jasu Nama Japi Sunahu Bhavani Bhava Bandhana Katahi Nar Jnani. Is it possible at all that the servant of the Lord, the envoy, the dude of the Lord, right? Is it possible that that individual who is the devotee of the Lord that severs all the bonds of life and all of these different kind of things, right? Who takes you beyond birth and death, tasu dut ki bandha tarava, you know, Prabhu karaja lagi kapi hi bandava. Is it possible for him to be tied? No, it is not possible. It is of this individual's own accord that he decided to be tied. So this is what Lord Shiva is now saying here to Parvati Devi, right? He said it was all because he allowed it to happen. That's the only reason why, right? Goes on to say, what does he say? Jai Ram Sri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Ram Sri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Ram Sri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. दसमुख सभाधि की कपि जाई, दसमुख सभाधि की कपि जाई, कहीं न जाई कछु अति प्रभुताई। जय राम श्री राम, करदोरे सुर जिसको विनीता, भृकुति बिलोकत सकल सतीता, देखी प्रताप न कपि मन संका, देखी प्रताप न कपि मन संका, जिनि अहि गण महु गरुड़ संका। जय राम श्री राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम श्री राम, जय जय राम, जय राम श्री राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। So here now, as Lord Shiva tells to Parvati Devi, he says that Hanumanji is the one that allowed himself to be bound, right? He continues to say now, Kapi bandhana suni nisichara dhai kautukalagi sabha sabha ai. So when the Nisichara, the Rakshas and whatever they call them, they say rangers of the night, right? Those who just come out in the night time, right? When these individuals, they heard now that Hanumanji had been bound, they rushed out now to see, right? Kautukalagi, Sabha, Sabha, they all came now to see this spectacle. What is going on here, right? We want to see. Dasamukha, Sabha, Dikhi, Kapi, Jai, Kahi na jai kachu ati prabhu tai. Now, when Hanumanji reached to the court of Ravana, listen to this very carefully, right? When Hanumanji reached to the court of Ravana, here he said Dasa Mukha, that one who's 10-headed Jai Bhagwan, Ravana, right? When he reached the court of Ravana, he looked at Ravana's court, and it is said that that court was so glorious that it was beyond description. Now you must understand, Lanka in itself is a very beautiful city. Eh? It's not that Lanka was a horrible looking place. Right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that something that is beautiful on the outside is beautiful on the inside. Kya baat hai? You see how this thing all ties into one there? Right? Beautiful in the outside, but Jai Bhagwan, you enter inside it, you're not sure to come back out. You know? Right? So, here now, looking at the court there, you know why this Lanka itself, it was brought into manifestation by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva fashioned Lanka. Lanka is known as it was known as the Golden City. Right? Beautiful, beautiful city. Roads well paved, rivers well channeled, and all of these different things. So, seeing the glorious court there now of Ravana, Karajore Sura Dissipa Benita Brikuti Bilokata Sakala Sabita. Now, all of the Devatas and all of these different things, remember now Devatas and stuff, they are looking from the heavenly regions and they are looking at the journey of Hanumanji, right? Everybody is watching looking on this spectacle and trying to understand what is happening, right? Hanumanji, now Deki Pratapa, Nakapi Manasanka, Jimmy Ahigana Mahu, Garura Asanka. But while they were looking on, they were in such humility and they were a little bit confused and maybe a little bit worried too. I don't know what is going to happen here, what is going to transpire at this point in time, right? While they were thinking this, it is said that Hanumanji was no more amazed at the sight of this place than Garuda, right, would be frightened by a multitude of snakes. What does that mean? Garuda is an eagle. What does an eagle do to a snake? Ram Nam Satya hai. If that eagle catch up with Hide, Prapu smoky pipe. Right? That's the end of it. But picture this now. Garuda is the king of all birds, right? Garuda is the king of all birds. And he's the Vahana, the vehicle of Lord Vishnu. So you picture him now, picture a multitude of snakes. It could be any amount. You picture that mighty, powerful being. You know? Those little snakes mean nothing to Garuda. Similarly, here Hanumanji as he stands, he is no more amazed than Garuda would see, or afraid that Garuda would see a multitude of snakes basically. That is the comparison that is used there, right? Kapihi biloki dasanana bihasa kahi durbad sutabadha surati kinhi puni upaja hridaya visad. So when Ravana saw Hanumanji, he laughed. Oh, this is the fellow, that's the fellow who given all this trouble? That is the fellow who given trouble? You know, he's just laughing, right? The ego again is on the rise, right? He's not thinking about, look at this now. Remember I told you Hanumanji doesn't react, right? Hanumanji thinks. Ravana is not thinking. Look at the difference again in the comparison there now. He's not thinking at all, he's just reacting. So he's seen, I say, oh, this is a small little fellow, little monkey. This is the fellow who's afraid. This is the fellow who given all this trouble. But Sutabada, Surati Kinhi Puni, Upaja Hridaya Visad. When he remembered of the death of his son and all these things, Akshay Kumar, who Hanumanji would have killed, then he became very grief-stricken at heart and all of these different things, right? What happened next? Let's chant. Jaya Ram Sri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Sank sat यही अपराधा कहूँ सत तो ही न प्राण पे बाधा सुनो रावण आंदनिकाया पाई जसु बल बेर चित्त की माया जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. So here now Ravana starts to speak and he says, Kaha Lankesha kavan tay kisa kehi ke bal ghalehi ban kisa. Now Ravana says, who are you? Monkey. That's how Ravana will talk, right? He can't see the divinity that is present there at all. Poor Ravana, poor thing. Oh Jai Baba. Right? The ego is getting the best of him. He says, who are you? He says, and whose might kehi ke bal galehi ban kisa. Whose might do you rely upon? Right? Do you rely upon, that you have created so much destruction and all of that? Ki dao shravana sunnehi nahi mohi. He says, did you not hear me? Because Hanumanji is saying nothing. He says, did you not hear me? Dekho ati asanka sata tohi. He says, satha. He says, you fool. Literally, yeah? Says, you are extremely bold. You are extremely bold. You wretch. Jai Bhagavan. That's how Ravana is talking, right? But you see, when Ravana is speaking there, that is a reflection of who he is, not so? Right? That is a reflection of who Ravana is. It's not a reflection of who Hanumanji is. And that is something that we must understand. Right? In life, when people speak to you and people are bitter to you, it is a reflection of who they are. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. Sometimes. Right? No, but you understand exactly where I'm coming from, right? You understand? I'm sure you all understand exactly where I'm coming from. When people are bitter to us, when people spill hate and anger and all these things towards us, it means that it's a reflection of what is something that is transpiring within them. Right? So here, as he reflects there, he's reflecting that anger and all of those negative qualities, kam, krodh, mad, lobha, ahankar, moha, that is contained within him, right? The anger and lust and greed and hatred, false pride, jealousy and all of these different things. So he says, in you I see a bold wretch. You know, you fool. He says, did you not hear me? Marehi nisichara kehi aparada. What was the mistake, if you call it like that, or the fault of those Rakshasas, right? But he wouldn't say Rakshasas, he said the rangers of the night. Right? What was the fault of them that you had to bring destruction? Kahu sata tohina prana kai bada. Are you not afraid, O fool, of losing your life? Right? Here now, Hanumanji starts to speak and he says, Sunu Ravana, kya baat hai? Listen, Mridu Vani, you know, such sweet tones he's saying. Sunu Ravana, listen, O Ravana, Brahmana Nikaya, Pai Jasu Bala Birchati Maya. He says, recall, Ravana, that individual, not just individual, but that supreme one, through whose power fashions unlimited universes by his Maya, his elusive power. That's not even his pure absolute power. Think about that. Through the elusive power of the Lord, right? He fashions numberless, countless, right? Unlimited universes. And here's this, right? Here's the funny thing. Remember, I always mention and I always talk about multiverse, the multiverse, unlimited universes. Babaji didn't make it up. You see? Everything that I'm saying in this reality was already written. It's just time for certain things to be proven. But scientists have now even proven that that is a reality, right? So remember that one, recall that one. So now he's speaking about who? He's speaking about God, he's speaking about Prabhu Shri Ram. Look at the difference. Ravana is glorifying himself, right? Well, he's about to, right? He hasn't started us yet, but he's about to. Ravana here is filled with false pride, and he is speaking bitter words. But when Hanumanji starts to speak, he's speaking such beautiful words. And now who he speaks of? He speaks of Bhagwan. A devotee does not self-proclaim, he does not speak of his own glory. He speaks of the glory of the Lord. Right? But an individual who is filled with ego and abhiman, that false pride, ahankar, that individual, he will only speak of the I-ness and the minus and I and me, and it's all me, right? Jake Bala Biram Shihari Isa, right? It says, by whose power, right? We have Brahmaji brings into manifestation through his power, right? Then Hari, Lord Vishnu, preserves according to what we know, right? Then you say Isa, or here he's referring to Bhagwan Lord Shiva, right? Has the ability to reabsorb or destroy the negative things, right? That individual, Palata Shujata, Harata Dasa, Sisa, right? Ja Bala, Sisa Dharata, Sahasanana, Andakosa Sametagiri, Kanana. That individual, right? Whose power, through which Sheshnag, the thousand-headed serpent, supports not just this one universe, but all of the universes, supports all of the mountains and forests and all of these different things upon his head itself. It is through his power, right? Dharai jo vivida deha suratrata tumase satanha sikhavanu data. That one who assumes various forms and all of these different things, right? For the protection, for the sake of his devotees and all of these different things. The gods, the ones in the heavenly regions and all of these different things. And to destroy evil, wicked Rakshasas like you. Right? Hara kodamda katina jihi bhamja tohi sameta nripa dalamara gamja. Right? That individual who broke the bow, the unbending bow of Hara, of Lord Shiva, right? And with it he crushed the pride of all those princes that were present to get married to Sita. You remember when the breaking of the bow, for those of you that are familiar, when that was about to happen, that was in the Swayamvar of Sita Devi, where her father instructed that only someone who breaks that bow will be able to become her consort. That bow of Lord Shiva, all the princes stood up, right? All of them made themselves present, kings and all these things. I can break this. This is no mighty feat for me. And they would all go and they couldn't even shift the bow. They didn't have that ability, right? But when that Lord and Master of the creation, Prabhu Shram, he went there. It was no great spectacle through the blessings of Bhagwan Shankar, Lord Shiva, because Prabhu Shram was in human form. He was regarding God as Lord Shiva, worshipping Lord Shiva, and paying respects to Lord Shiva. He lifted that bow with ease and strung that bow like nothing at all. Bending that bow, he broke it. Right? That in itself is an entire long katha by itself. So he says, that individual, Ravana, I want you to think about him. Kar Dushana Trishira Aru Bali. That one who slew Kar, Dushan, Trishira and Bali, all of them. All these mighty, powerful warriors upon the face of the earth. Bade Sakala Atulita Bala Sali. All these individuals, they were champions of much less strength. Nobody can match their power and their might and all of these things. And yet, that supreme one, he destroyed all of them. Jake bala lavalesa te jitehu chara chara jari. Right? That individual, through whose might you were able to become who you are right now. You were able to conquer all these different realms and able to conquer all these different individuals to get all the power that you have right now. Tasu dutame jakari hari anehu priya nari. And here now he says, and whose beloved spouse you have taken away. That one, I am his dut. He says, know me to be his duta, his messenger. Hanumanji spoke so many verses there. Not in one verse did Hanumanji say, I am powerful. Me. You never hear who I is, or? Not in one verse did Hanumanji say that. Hanumanji only spoke of the glory of Prabhu Shri Ram. Right? Saying all of that there, Hanumanji continues to speak and he says again, devotees, we'll take a final verse. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Here, very quickly, Hanumanji continues to say, and he ends it off with a solid blow. A real solid blow, right? Says, Jano, so he starts very subtly and he comes on here. Jano, main tumhari prabhutai, I know of your glory, O Ravan. I know of your power. I know of your authority, don't worry. Sahasrabahu, sana pari larai, he says, I know about your encounter with Sahasrabahu. Sahasrabahu was an individual who had many arms, right? And this individual was very tall, very powerful, and very mighty. Very mighty, powerful warrior. One day, Ravana had a little encounter. There are different versions of the Katha based on where it's taken from, right? Different Puranas quoted differently. Now, we have to understand that all the ages that we have, it happened over and over, right? So in each different age, the Kathas would vary. Nevertheless, there's one Katha where Sahasrabahu is bathing with his consorts and all of these different things. Ravana happened to disturb him while he was doing that. And then Sahasrabahu challenged him. And while challenging him there to a battle, Sahasrabahu pounded Ravana. Left, right, and center. Right? Conquering Ravana. So here now Hanumanji is choosing all those different times when Ravana, right? So he's being sarcastic. He's choosing those times when Ravana got licks, if you want to put it like that basically, right? When he was conquered, he was brought down back to the humble level now. Because sometimes that power makes your head float in the sky. So he had to remind him that, hey, remember. Yeah, you're all powerful now. Remember all of these different things. Let the humility come back. Samarabali sanam. Kari Jasupava, Suni Kapibachana Mihasi Baharana. And he says about the battle now with Bali. Bali being the brother of Sugriva. Bali was a very powerful and mighty warrior. An invincible warrior, as a matter of fact. He was the king of Kishkinda, right? And Bali had this Vardhan, this boon, a special boon. After doing Tapasya to Brahmaji, he got a Vardhan where any opponent that he would face, that opponent loses half his strength and Bali would gain it, basically. Right? So he becomes twice as powerful as his opponent. Right? Only Prabhu Shri Ram was able to put an end to Bali eventually. But one point in time, Bali was doing tapasya and Ravana came to challenge Bali in Kishkinda. When he came, Bali's brother Sugriv came out and said, you know, Bali is doing tapasya. If you want, you can go and meet him there, or you can wait right here for him to come back. Ravana decides, he says, well, I'll go and meet him right here. Who's this Bali? You know, what can he do to me? I'm all powerful, I'm almighty, right? Narad Muni had instigated this. You know, Narad Muni likes to instigate all sorts of things. Ravana had won battle over all the other Devatas and these different kind of things that conquered Indra Devata and stuff. So at that point in time, he was, I am all powerful. So Narad Muni came and Narad Muni happened to throw out a little thing there. You say, oh yeah, well, you know, there's this fella that is called Bali and he thinks that you're not so powerful, you know. So when Ravana with that, you know, he had to rush immediately to go and find Bali. Finding Bali, now Bali is doing tapasya, he's offering prayer to Bhagwan. And Ravana decides, well, now is a good time, right? Being a cunning fellow, now is a good time for him to attack him. You know, because right now he can't do anything, he's deep in meditation. So he approaches and he goes to the tail of Bali now. He tries to lift and take the tail now. He says, I'll hold the tail quickly and I will pelt him or attack him, whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? And with that being said now, as Ravana reaches for the tail of Bali, it is said that that tail starts to wrap Ravana up. So it starts to tie Ravana up, and Ravana, he takes the hands, well not hand, but hands, right? Because he was 10-headed. He had many hands as well. The hands from this side, and then he starts to take from this side, and he's trying to escape, but at the same time hold on to Bali there now. But Bali is wrapping him up with his tail while he's in meditation. Kya baat hai? You don't disturb people in meditation, eh? Or dhyan and contemplation of the Lord. Right? A bhakt. Here now, with that being said, when Bali came back to consciousness, to that conscious level there now, where he's awakened, and he sees what is happening, he takes Ravana under his armpit like this so, right? And Ravana is wrapped in his tail as well. You see? There now, he says, oh, you want to disturb me when I'm in meditation? I still have a couple more to complete. I have to go from this place to that place to the next. He holds Ravana under his arm there. And he jumps from mountain to mountain to mountain, and he goes and completes all the tapasya. And Ravana has to remain under his arm there until completion. So Hanuman says, you remember? Yeah, I know of your glory. I know of your glory. You remember that time with Sahasravapu? You remember that time with Bali? So you notice what Hanumanji is doing there now, right? Ravana hears this, devotees, and he laughed it off. Here, as we conclude today's katha, Hanumanji says, Khayu phala prabhu lagi bhuka, kapi subhao te tore ruka. He says, I ate the fruits because I was hungry, and I broke down the trees and all of this. Here now, it says because he's kapi. Remember I told you, kapi is one who drinks of the spiritual illumination of the Lord, right? I told you when I was speaking about that previously, Hanumanji was only breaking the trees that was blocking the view of Sita. Right? He could not see darshan of Prabhu Shri Ram there physically because Prabhu Shri Ram was not there. Sita Devi was there, so he wanted darshan all the time. So I was only breaking the trees because I wanted that darshan at all points in time. Sabke deha parama priya swami. Everyone likes their life. They love their life as a matter of fact, and they hold on to that daily. Right? Marehi muhi kumar raga gami. And he says, well, everybody loves his life more than anything else. So when it's good for nothing fellows and then them start to attack me and all sorts of things, what do you want me to do? Right? I had no choice but to respond accordingly. And then, to climax all of that basically, when Meghnad fitted that Brahmastra to bind me up, I had to allow myself to be bound. I feel no shame whatsoever, Hanumanji says. I feel no shame whatsoever because why does Hanumanji feel no shame? He says, I feel no shame even though I am keen to accomplish the mission of my master. He feels no shame because you know why? Hanumanji has nothing to prove to any Rakshas, to any demon. He has nothing to prove to Ravana. I want to leave you all with something, devotees. You don't have to prove anything to anyone in this world. As long as you have Bhagwan in your heart, as long as God is established in your heart, you have nothing to prove to anyone. So there is no reason for you to feel ashamed. Sometimes we're doing things in this world and we feel ashamed. We feel ashamed to pray. We feel ashamed to chant the name of the Lord. We feel ashamed to clap. Oh God, if I went in Mandir and I clap and they see me, I don't know. Look at him now playing saint. Well, you play saint now. That is not a problem. Right? What about the other fellow who's saying you playing saint? You understand where I'm coming from? Don't focus on other people. What we must focus is on ourselves. Bolo Pawan Putra Hanuman ki jai, Siyapati Ramachandra ki jai. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, At this point in time, devotees, we clasp our hands, close our eyes and bow our heads and pray as we thank Bhagavan for blessing us with this most wonderful opportunity to join in Satsang today. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardanam Yad Pujanam Mayareva Paripurnam Tarastame Om त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्याद्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। With faith, with love and devotion, we lift our voices as we chant Bhiksha to Bhagwan. बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, पौनपुत्र हनुमान की जय, श्री आदि शक्ति जगदम्बा माता की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। हर नमः पार्वती पते, हर हर महादेव।